All right, that's Conway Twitty for you in a redneckin' love-making night. And guess who I've got in the studio with me this morning? Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the one and only Mr. Bobby Mackey.
Good morning. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Great to be here. Thank you for asking.
Oh, you're most welcome. As you probably know, I've had a lot of your good friends on the show so far. With Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Larry Mink, and,
yep.
you know, and so many of the guys, James Funk.
Yeah.
You know, and just had a whole bunch of guys that have been on the program.
We had a big Dallas birthday bash over at the club not long ago, and you were over.
I was over there. My girlfriend and I came over and had a great time with you, and looking forward to coming back. I mean, really had fun that evening. You know, so anyway, just got a few questions for you if I'm not putting you on the spot.
Okay.
If it's something you don't want to answer, just say, I don't want to answer.
Well, I'll open my mouth and something will come out.
Okay, so you are from Northern Kentucky?
Well, I'm from up in Lewis County, Kentucky, up east of Maysville.
Okay,
that's where I was born and raised on a farm and in a grocery store combined.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
My dad had farms, and he also had a grocery store that my mother worked in, so she raised me while she worked in the grocery store.
Oh, that's the way it was, you know.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story today, but you know that's how it was back then.
Of course, that's how I got hooked up with music too, because there was a jukebox in the grocery store.
Okay.
And it was a railroad town. There was a sidetrack there where the camp cars laid in there during the week while the railroaders were working on the section, and they would hang in the grocery store at night. So Dad put this jukebox in there and added a little touch to the bottle they had in their back pocket.
Okay, now did I get misinformation on the fact that you worked on the railroad?
No, I did. Yes, when I got out of high school and came down here, I went to work on the C&O Railroad at the time.
Okay, which runs right in back of Bobby Mackey's, right?
Yes, it does. Well, actually, the C&O doesn't run behind there, but if you get on that railroad track behind my club, you can stay right on it and go right through my hometown, right beside where the old grocery store was.
That is so cool. That's
so. In fact, that was the anniversary was September the 21st when I got off the train in Newport. My mother put me on the train in Maysville.
Okay.
And early one morning, and I got off the train in Newport because I had the job on the railroad. So I had my suitcase in one hand, my guitar in the other, and $75 in my pocket.
Wow. See, that's the stories that you really gotta love.
And it was drizzling rain. Do you think I was going to get a cab anywhere? No, I was going to walk in the rain, which I did.
Oh, that's so cool. So when did you first get into really playing country music?
Oh, there never been anything else. When I was just big enough, when my memory kicked in, I would listen to the radio. When my mom would get my two older brothers ready for school and put them on the bus. Okay. And then she'd go down. Dad would already have the store open. She'd go down and relieve him from the store and take me with her. And all morning I would listen to the radio. Mm-hmm. Mom had an old Zenith radio. I still got it. The same.
Do you really?
It was an old phonograph player that you raised the top up and it had a turntable in it, 78 speed.
Right.
But anyway, the old Zenith radio, and I knew exactly where to put it. I would listen to Dayton, Ohio station. WONE in Dayton.
Yeah.
And I knew right where to put it, and I recognized Hank Williams' voice. That's the only singer that I knew, but I always knew when he was singing. And I always, and I remember the day that Hank died, and they were playing nothing but Hank on the radio, and that was unusual. I'd never heard that before. They kept playing Hank over and over, and my mother was trying to explain to me that he'd passed away. And I didn't even understand. I was too young to even understand that. And when I did understand it, I thought, well, no, he's singing on the radio. He's not, he hasn't gone anywhere. And then when it really did soak in, I thought music was over because Hank was the only voice I knew. So that was my inspiration. That was at 4 years old, and at 8 years old, my oldest brother got me a Roy Rogers guitar for Christmas.
Super.
And I learned to play it at 8, and then Buck Owens came along and inspired me a whole lot more. and Merle Haggard and George Jones, people like that.
Yeah. You've had some great entertainers at your club.
Yes, over the years we have. It's been amazing, really, when I look back at it.
You had, I know you had the Hag.
Yeah, I had the Hag.
George Jones.
Had George there twice.
George Jones was there twice, right?
Yeah, and we had him out at Stone Valley at an outside Western barbecue that we had every summer.
Okay.
But the thing about George, they called me when it was he was in the hospital down in Florence, Alabama. He had gotten on some drugs, and he got in there to straighten him up.
Okay.
And he had just got out of the hospital, and the Adams boys were playing music with him. Don Adams played bass, and Gary Adams, they were brothers. Gary played lead guitar. They're from up here in around Jamestown, Ohio, somewhere up there. But anyway, they knew I had the club, and so George, they just got him out of the hospital, and they called me. And in fact, I believe it was a Saturday morning, and my 11-year-old daughter at the time knocked on the bedroom door and said, "Daddy, George Jones is on the phone." And I said, "Leave me alone, get out of here." But anyway, I answered the phone. It was the Adams boys.
Yeah.
And they were calling for George, and they wanted to know if I'd book him, and I said, "Well, yeah." So we made a deal. Within 10 days' notice, I booked him. And we had him there, and it was all business, at that time in my head it was all business. But the night at the club when George Jones was introduced to my stage in Wilder, Kentucky, all of a sudden it just overwhelmed me. I thought, wow, this can't, my hair stood up. This can't be real, because of the fascination I always had with him. But you get confused between business and fascination.
Well, yeah, but I think so many of them, and that's one of the reasons why I've gone to do the show that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. First of all, I mean, the format's not being played, locally, unless it's live people that are doing it, you know. And
it's a shame, really.
And it is a shame. It is.
I wrote a song about it too.
Oh, well, good. You want to do it today?
I don't know if I can remember all of it today, but I might try it.
But I mean, the thing is, I mean, if it weren't for, I mean, George Jones and Waylon and Willie and Haggard and Johnny Cash and Porter Wagner and Loretta and Patsy and all of those artists, I don't think we'd have country music today. Although I don't really classify, and this is one thing I'm very stringent on, I don't classify today's country as country.
Oh, it's not at all. If I don't like it, I know it's not country.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, you and I are in the exact same realm, I mean, I can't stand to listen to them.
I can't handle it. If you would lock me up in a room and crank that music up, I'd go absolutely out of my mind.
Yeah, I would too. I mean,
but I'm not putting it down, and I say so in the song. I'm not putting the music down. There's lots of music I don't like, and I'm not going to listen to.
Right.
And that's one of them. But I don't put the music down. There's a place for, in the song I wrote, I say, there's a place for all kinds of music, and I respect it all the same. But what they call country is not country. They just stole the name.
Oh, great line. Great line. And that's so true.
That's the title of the song.
Yeah, I mean, to me, so many of them they're all sound-alikes.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Bobby. I mean, as far as looking or listening to the songs, I mean, there are some good artists. There are some good artists.
Yes,
whose hearts are in the right place.
But the songs they sing are no good.
No, they're pop songs.
And that's another line in the song. I say, would-be country singers. Let's see, how does it go? Lots of would-be country singers. Make their music fit the game.
Yeah.
But what they call country is not country. They just stole the name.
That's right.
Lots of would-be country singers make their music fit the game. And that's what they do. Joe Nichols is a great country singer, but now he's sold out and singing stuff that's off the wall.
Because Nashville and the record companies rule them.
Yeah, well, it's the dollar.
It's all about the dollar. You're right.
And more power to them. I'm not putting it down, but they stole country music's place.
Right.
They call it country, and it absolutely is not. No, and where does that leave for country to go to?
Nowhere.
There's no place for country.
Nowhere. If you're not listening on radio stations like this one, WAIF, you know, that's a public radio station that has a lot of different formats on it. I'm one of them, you know, with country. But unless you're listening to stations like us, or you're listening to satellite or cable radio stations, you know, you're not hearing it.
No.
It's just not out there.
In Haggard and Jones tradition, their music will live on.
Oh, absolutely.
But if they were starting out today, it would be a different song.
Yeah. You know, I'll tell you a quick story because the show's about you, not me. But I went to see Haggard this last time down at the tail.
I did too. I was there.
I didn't see him.
Wow.
I kept looking for you, but I didn't see you.
I was in another world because Haggard is my all-time absolute favorite.
Yeah.
Hands down, no question.
Yeah. When he walked out on stage, I know you agree with me on this, all he had to do was walk out there.
Yeah, he just walked out, and their place stood up.
Yeah.
And stood for 5 minutes.
Yeah. And every song you sang, everybody knew the lyrics.
Yeah.
Does that tell you that there's 2,000 people in this auditorium that are country fans?
They were like us, or they wouldn't have been there.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that was really one of the very first country concerts that my girlfriend had gone to.
Is that right?
Yeah. And when we walked out of there at the end of the night, she said, that was awe-inspiring. That was unbelievable. I mean, to watch all these people that knew these songs and sing these songs. And, I mean, she's been on the program with me a couple times, and she knows I'm a real true country, artist.
You're gonna like. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you go ahead.
You're gonna like my new album. I got a new album coming out in probably 3 weeks at the most.
Okay.
It's titled "Country Music Lives On," and it's a song I wrote about the story about the jukebox and growing up with the old Zenith radio and all that, and country music lives on. But I also wrote a song about Haggard.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're going to like that, too.
Oh, it's the working man.
Yeah, yeah.
He is the working man.
Going to write a song about Haggard. He wrote a lot of songs about you and me.
That's right, he did. Absolutely true. You got your guitar handy?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a tone or not. It was when I got it. Everybody says that, though, don't they? You want me to sing one?
I sure do.
All right. Which one should we do? I got a song out. The first single off of it is a song about that Jones boy is gone, and we've got close to 1,000 radio stations in the world playing it right now.
Excellent. Go right ahead and do it.
Now that Jones boy is gone, who's gonna fill his shoes? He stopped loving her today. The blues became bad news. Things have gone to pieces. Who'll sing the races on? Who's gonna fill his shoes now that Jones boy is gone? I remember oh so well the boy with the crew-cut hair singing about white lightning. She thinks I still care. Don't stop the music, let it play one more song. Got an aching, breaking heart now that Jones boy is gone. Now that Jones boy is gone, who's gonna fill his shoes? He stopped loving her today. The blues became bad news. Things have gone to pieces. Who'll sing the races on? Who's gonna fill his shoes now that Jones boy is gone? I always loved to hear old George and Tammy sing about a two-story house and a golden wedding ring. Life is filled with choices, they couldn't quite hold on. She said, take me to your world. He was a no-show Jones. Now that Jones boy is gone, who's gonna fill his shoes? He stopped loving her today. The blues became bad news. Things have gone to pieces. Who'll sing the races on? Who's gonna fill his shoes now that Jones boy's gone? Hey, who's gonna fill his shoes now that old Possum's gone?
That's great stuff. I mean, that's just great stuff, Bobby.
Wow.
You know, your voice you know, your mannerisms, you know, you're where you want to be.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm very happy with where I'm at. I've had a good career and been at the nightclub 35 years.
Right.
And you know, at one point I would have liked to gone on the road and done all that, but not anymore. I'd rather be right there in Wilder, Kentucky.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you've got a great club. You've had it 35 years, right?
It's my Branson, yeah. 35 years. It's my Branson. You know,
yeah.
all these guys settled in Branson.
Yeah.
I settled in Wilder. So.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
But country, as we've talked about, you know, country music. There's not many of us left singing traditional country music.
No, that's very true. You know. I know you don't remember me from back in the 1980s, but I played over at your place, and what you did were the Battle of the Bands.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I think that was probably around 1981, 82.
Yeah.
What I'm pretty much guessing. And, of course, we played up against, you know, Billy Gant, you know, and we played up against...
Frank Hammonds, I think, was involved in it, wasn't he? You remember Frank Hammonds?
No, the name I remember, but
yeah. I think he was involved in one of them.
Yeah, you know, Willie Bailey and the Poor Boys.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss Willie Bailey.
We're talking about Ron Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
You
know? I miss him, too.
And I'm sure you know the name. Do you remember a gentleman named Gene Jackson?
Yes.
Gene Jackson Trio. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Gene started me in country music. That's what
Is that right?
Yeah, and when I got married in 1974, my now ex-wife worked for his wife as a beautician. They were both beauticians. And Carol sang with Gene in the band. And they played all over, and I don't know, one night we went to see him, and he said, "Why don't you get up and sing?" So I got up and sang Little Sister from Elvis, because I am a huge Elvis fan. I am a huge Elvis fan. And actually, our band did Elvis in a show for 4 years in Cincinnati,
well,
North
Elvis,
Kentucky.
all of Elvis's music was better than this, what they call country today.
Well, thank you.
Really, it was.
You're okay in my book.
It really was.
I'll take that.
Like I say, you know, if we don't like it, it can't be country.
Right.
And Elvis wasn't called country back then, but his music was better than what they call country today.
Well, yeah, and Elvis did country. I mean, he did a lot of cover songs, you know.
Yeah.
And
lots of
and he did them very.
There Goes
very
My Everything,
well.
and there's a Honky Tonk Angel Who'll Take Me Back In, and
That's
it
right.
goes on and on. He just souped them up a little bit for the day.
Right,
you know?
right, but he could do all those. He could do country,
absolutely.
he could do rock and gospel.
There was no end to his voice.
No, I mean he could do it all.
Yeah,
and he did it all.
The range, there was no end to it.
No. Do us another song if you would.
Oh, okay.
What you gonna do?
I'll do the title to the title of the new album that's coming out.
Okay.
Country Music Lives On.
Okay.
Here we are in the 21st century. Country music lives on. I found out at 4 years old a heart can be touched with a song. Old Hank sure could moan the blues. His voice got through to me. Coming out of Mom's radio in 1953. He was moaning the blues. Inspired by Hank, I learned to play my Roy Rogers guitar, singing along with the jukebox in my dad's grocery store. Then I heard Buck and the Buckaroos, my heart skipped a beat. I fell in love with Buck and Don in 1963. I was loving that Bakersfield sound. I left home after high school, Martin guitar in my hand. I couldn't wait to play and sing in a country band. has sure been good to me. Where I'm still singing my country songs. Here we are in the 21st century, country music lives on. Back when I was 4 years old, old Hank touched me with his songs.
That's great stuff.
He was moaning the blues.
Oh,
all right.
That's awesome, man.
That's the title of the new album.
Well, I gotta get a copy of that.
Oh, I'll make sure you get one.
I gotta get a copy of that for sure, man. You know.
Yeah.
It's great having you on the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
You know, I know. You know, if you're on my Facebook pages, when I know you are, you know, I mean, you see the posts that go out and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And Classics of Country is, you know, my other page that I've got out there for the show. And it's amazing. And I have to thank all of the artists that have come in, because they have helped me tremendously as far as building my audience up here for the show.
Yeah.
You know, and when I get people on like yourself and all the other guys that have come on, you know, I mean,
as we talk about country music, you know, anymore, we can't just turn it on whenever we want to. We got to turn it on when somebody's playing it, like you. So.
Yeah, and you know something that's very interesting. I have a very diversified listening audience. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, the thing is with being on public radio and being on an all-volunteer radio station like this is, I mean, you know, nobody's getting paid. You know, we're coming in and we're doing all this because
you love it.
Because we love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when I started playing live music back in '75, I played it because I wanted to play. I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't care if I worked 15, 18 hours a day.
You know, 35 years over here in Wilder, and it never gets old.
No.
You know, I love what I do.
I know you love what you do.
And, you know, it's been a great summer, too. I was inducted into the Northern Kentucky Music Legends Hall of Fame back in June.
Yep.
I was so excited about that. I mean, excited is not quite the word for it. I couldn't even believe it. And, you know, we had the big anniversary, 35 years at the club. September the 8th, 1978 is when they opened the club. And we got Georgette Jones coming over October the 19th.
Right. I saw her on your
George
page.
and Tammy's daughter, Georgette Jones.
Yeah.
And RJ says we're the only place country enough to stage her first show.
Oh,
in Cincinnati.
I believe that. I believe that.
So
yeah.
I played up home up in Lewis County at the Lewis County Fair in Vanceburg, the hometown county fair. And what a surprise up there! You know, I mean, just surprised me. I knew nothing about it. They had this road sign, Bobby Mackey Highway, and they named the highway Route 57 that goes out of Concord past the house where I was born and raised, where my mom still lives in the house I was born in.
Really?
She's 94.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And
wow.
the road going by there now is Bobby Mackey Highway.
Oh, well, she's got to be proud.
Oh,
I mean, she's got to be proud.
Yeah, she. You know? But well, I certainly am.
Well, you're a tremendous talent, you know, and you know, you're doing what I'm doing, but I'm doing it with recordings, and you're doing it live.
Yeah, I'm doing it with my guitar.
And you're doing it with your guitar and the band. And if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you first started with the band at Mackey's over there, was it not Bobby Mackey and the Freedom Express?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And
that came with the bicentennial year. 1976 was the bicentennial year.
Okay.
So that's where the name Freedom Express came from.
Okay.
During that year.
And how long did you keep that particular?
It started in '76 before I went to the nightclub, and once we opened there in '78, probably through the first 5 years maybe at the club. So it was 5, 6.
Did you play up at the Boulevard?
Yes, I did. I was there 4.5 years.
Up in Tri-County, right?
Yeah, I was there from January 1st, '73 to mid '77.
Yeah. Who came in after you up there? Do you remember?
There was the two girls, the Wilson sisters,
came up to the Boulevard?
Played there for, no, at the Boulevard, no, that was Julie's.
Oh, Julie's out in Reading.
Yeah, I went from Boulevard to Julie's. I had them confused there.
Yeah.
There was, they brought Bill White.
Oh, yeah.
Down from St. Louis.
Okay, the jock from UBE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He later became that, but when he came down here, he was a road artist, road singer.
Okay.
Traveling.
And out at Julie's was Cheyenne.
Yeah, but the Wilson sisters were there
Before Cheyenne.
Before Cheyenne, yes.
Okay, and then Cheyenne went from there. They went up to the Silver Saddle.
But the first time we heard of Bill White, though, they were closed for, I think, a week or two, I think, after I left, or I don't know what they did, but then Bill White came in there, and it didn't last very long. They were closed up within 2 or 3 months.
Wow. Well, he was an excellent jock as far as radio.
Yeah, and he's a good friend of mine and a good writer.
What's he doing today?
He's in Nashville.
Is he?
He's writing and performing and does some comedy. When he writes anything he wants me to hear, he'll email it to me.
Super. See, it's great to have friends like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, this business is, it can be very cutthroat. We all know that, and
Yeah.
back when I first started, I mean, every band would undercut you. If you'd come in for X amount of dollars, there'd be a guy in back, you'd say, I played for $50 less than he's playing for. I mean, that's how it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how it is really today. I mean, I'm sure it's gotten a lot better as far as that goes, but maybe not.
That's why
RJ's saying no, so I guess maybe that's not true.
That's why I got the place with my name on it.
That's true. No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I know there's all the stories, and I know every radio show you go on wants to talk about.
Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll make it real quick for you. I'm not going to put you through.
It's okay. It was bigger than me, and I couldn't stop it. So.
So how did all of the hauntings come about?
Well, it's quite a long story, but I kept it quiet the first 10 years. But during the summer, before we got open in September of 1978, during that summer, in preparing to open and getting the place ready, Carl Lawson, a boy who was 18 years old, just lived up the street, the closest house to my club.
Okay.
And so I hired him to help us clean up and paint, and then, of course, he was the caretaker, took care of the place for the first, say, I don't know, 15 years, I guess. But right away, when I probably hadn't known him 2 or 3 days, and he'd start telling me, you wouldn't believe some of the things that happens around here. I said, what are you talking about? And he'd try to tell me that stuff. And I'd say, I don't want to hear that. Just stop that. I don't want to hear that. I'm sinking everything I got in this club. I got to make this club work. I don't want to run people off before I get open.
Right.
Because from my point of view, I thought people wouldn't want to come there. And I kept him from talking about it and kept it quiet for 10 years.
Wow.
And I still don't believe any of it. But my goodness, I'm in the minority. If there's 3 people out here in the corner, on the street corner, there'll be 2 of them that'll believe in it. And I'm certainly in the minority of it, and people come from everywhere. People come from all over the United States, some from other parts of the world, just to spend the night in there.
They can spend the night?
Yeah, they bring their equipment. I always get it wrong. What do they call it? EPV or EVP?
Oh, you mean the ghost hunters?
Yeah,
and
they try
stuff
to pick up voices of ghosts. Can you believe this?
Yeah, I know. I've watched a couple of those shows. I don't buy that routine.
What in the world would they do if they found one or caught one? What would they do with it?
I don't know.
It's absurd. And I don't want to. I'm always careful about saying it because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
No, I
don't want to put anybody down for what they believe. That's fine. And maybe I just don't connect with it, and if they can, more power to them, but I don't want anything to do with it.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that, the club is known for is
I know.
the hauntings.
I know.
The alleged hauntings or whatever they are.
Yeah, but,
I got to get a couple of promos in here, and then we'll get back and we'll have you play some more songs for us, all right? Okay. You having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
He's being sincere.
Absolutely.
Hello, mortals. Want to hear rockabilly, reggae, classical, poetry, disco, and doom metal? Novelty and all other types of genre? Then tune in to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch with your hosts, Dumb Rob and John, as they bring you music from the 20s all the way through the new millennium. Let your hair down low and have your head up in the clouds on Tuesdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on WAIF 88.3 in Cincinnati. You can call the Hamilton County's Household Hazardous Waste Hotline at 513-946-7700 and find out more about where and how you can safely reuse or recycle your hazardous products. The Hamilton County Department of Environmental Services has a list of locations that accept various types of household hazardous waste for reuse, recycling, or proper disposal. You can also visit them online at the HamiltonCountyRecycles.org. Do you have a question about Social Security? Well, most Social Security business can be handled online or by telephone. Just call 1-800-772-1213 between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. or visit the website anytime at www.socialsecurity.gov. Once again in the studio with me this morning, and very, very excited to have him here, Mr. Bobby Mackey.
Thank you, Tom. You want me to sing another one here?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
All right. I'll do the song we was talking about, the song I wrote about Haggard.
Oh, love it. Go right ahead.
I'm gonna write a song about Haggard. He wrote a lot of songs about you and me. Yeah, I'm gonna write a song about Haggard. If not for him, I'd have no songs to sing. Swinging doors got our attention in the 60s. Mama tried The Fugitive and Branded Man. Sing me back home. The bottle let me down. Bonnie and Clyde, I take a lot of pride in what I am. So I'm gonna write a song about Haggard. He wrote a lot of songs about you and me. Yeah, I'm gonna write a song about Haggard. If not for him, I'd have no songs to sing. One cold Sunday evening in Wilder, we all were thrilled when old Merle come to sing. He sang, "That's the way love goes." I threw away the rose, big city, fighting side and silver wings. So I'm gonna write a song about Haggard. He wrote a lot of songs about you and me. Yeah, I'm gonna write a song about Haggard. If not for him, I'd have no songs to sing. If not for him, I'd have no songs to sing. Down, down.
Great stuff, man. Great, great stuff. That's going to be on your new album?
Yeah. About 3 weeks, and I'm, it's lots of people say, "Oh, I'm excited about this or excited about this." I'm elated about this. This is all songs that I wrote on this album. It's the first time that's ever happened.
So every song on here you wrote?
I wrote them all. There's 12 songs on it.
Yeah, no, I've talked to several of the artists that have been on, Dallas and Billy Gant, and those guys.
Billy was over the other night to see me.
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah. I see him all the time on there, and it's just with me, it's so hard because being a DJ, not on the radio alone, but I'm also, weddings, parties, stuff like that. So a lot of times, Friday and Saturday night, I'm working. Mm-hmm. That's how I
always am.
Well, I know you are. I know you are. I want to get over one of these nights. Yeah. I do. I want to get over one of these nights, and I'd love to have the opportunity to come up and sing.
Yeah, I'd love it. Absolutely. Hang out with me in the green room.
Yeah, and
I love it when people come over like that. Billy Gant and Dallas Moore and on.
Yeah.
Bobby Hayes comes over. You know Bobby? Bobby Hayes?
No, I don't think so.
He comes over all the time.
Okay.
And but anyway, I interrupted.
Yeah, no. I mean, I just love this stuff so much, like you do. Mm-hmm. and it's a dream. I mean, to be honest, I'm living a dream doing this. I had 3 dreams in my life I wanted to do, actually. I've lived 2 of them. The third one I haven't got to do, and that was fly helicopters.
Well,
I wanted to fly helicopters, to be honest.
That's a little dangerous right there.
That's a little dangerous, but I love them. I'll fly in one of them anytime you want to put me in one. I'll go up.
If I do anything like that, anything that can go wrong will.
You're listening to Classics of Country here on WAIF 88.3. Jerry Stewart's in Studio A. He's going to be coming up at the top of the hour with Life Transition Show. And, Bobby, I'd like for you to do another song for us, if you would, please.
All right, here's one I wrote about. I've got a T-Bird, and
what year?
It's an 04.
Okay.
And I love it. And but I got married 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And my first wife died. We were married 42 years, and we buried her on our anniversary, our 42nd anniversary.
I'm so sorry. I did not know that.
A couple of years ago, I got married again, and we got married down in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
So I wrote this song, and it's on the album too.
All right.
I woke this morning, never heard a sound. I looked everywhere, she was nowhere to be found. Then I saw a text she sent, I couldn't believe the words. She said, I'm on my way to Florida in the T-Bird. She's out there on the highway riding southbound. Hair blowing in the breeze, she's probably got the top down. She loves that Florida sunshine, she loves St. Petersburg. She's on her way to Florida in the T-Bird. The next text she sent said, I love you so. But it's cold in Kentucky, I can't stand that ice and snow. I just had to get away, don't worry, I'll be fine. I'll be back when the snow is gone come springtime. She's out there on the highway rolling southbound. Hair blowing in the breeze, she's probably got the top down. She loves that Florida sunshine, she loves St. Petersburg. She's on her way to Florida in the T-Bird. She's on her way to Florida in the T-Bird.
That's good stuff,
on
man.
On her way to Florida in the T-Bird.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I have a classic 1967 Buick.
Really?
Yeah, a Skylark 2-door hardtop.
67 Buick.
Yeah, 67. Yeah. And I have to say, to be honest, it's gorgeous. If you go on my page, on my timeline page, that car's there. That car's on the top of that page. For me, for my personal, not Classics of Country.
Well, I love the old cars.
Oh yeah,
wow.
Yeah. I bought that in 1985, and I've kept it ever since.
I wish I had my first car was a '65 Mustang.
Oh yeah.
I'd give anything to have it now.
Well, I had the big brother to it. I had a GS 400 Buick convertible, and I bought that in January 1968. Actually picked it up on Elvis's birthday, January the 8th
Is that right?
of 1968, and it was a '67 GS 400 Buick, exactly like my Skylark that I have, except it was a convertible, and it was a 4-speed.
Yeah, my Mustang was a 4-barrel.
And Buick was not known for 4-speeds. They were known for daddy's cars.
I was just thinking, I bought my Mustang. It was in 1965, and I bought it in January 27th, 1967. Is when I bought it.
Yeah, see, and isn't that amazing how you remember all that really really cool stuff?
That was after I went to work on the railroad, and
and I
got things together.
You know, but we all sit here and say, wow, I wish I had it today.
Yeah.
You know, not only from the fact of what it's worth, but the fact that that was your first car.
Yeah, but then you wanted to trade it off for something new.
Well, that's true, and that's what everybody did, and I sit many a day and say, man, if I still had that GS, and it probably got crushed shortly after I sold it in '76.
I feel what I loved back then was the GTOs.
Oh yeah.
The 66.
Yeah,
67.
66, 67 goats. Yep.
GTOs. Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't that great?
400.
And the Chevelle Super Sport was.
Oh yeah.
Was a dandy too.
Great muscle cars.
Yeah.
There were a lot of great muscle cars in that
Absolutely.
era. I want to get you to do one more song, if you would, before we get ready and get out of here.
Okay.
And I want to play as our last song, unless you want me to play it now and you want to sing to take us out. You can do the one you want. I was going to play Pepsi Man.
Oh yeah, that was my hit back in '82.
'82. Yeah. So you tell me what you want to do.
How many you want me to do now? Just one?
One.
Just one?
Yeah.
I'd rather do something new, I guess. If
that's fine. You go right ahead.
I wrote this song. It's on the album, and I hope I can remember. Hope I can remember all the words because I haven't sung it a lot. I've never sung it live on stage yet.
Really?
But I like the song. It's called "It's Just the Kind of Place Toby Would Love." I really love this bar,
Oh yeah, Toby Keith.
I'll do that one, okay?
You go right ahead.
We've been here 35 years and the country beat goes on. People come from miles around to hear our songs. We talk about the good old days and the good ones still to come. It's just the kind of place Toby would love. When the dance floor is hopping, the mechanical bull is rocking, all the riders think they should have been a cowboy. We drink to our horses from a big red Solo cup, swear we're still as good as we once was. We love American soldiers and where they put their boots. It's just the kind of place Toby would love. In Wilder, Kentucky, we're pure red, white, and blue. And I'm not just talking about tonight. I really love this bar and the best is yet to come. It's just the kind of place Toby would love. When the dance floor is hopping, the mechanical bull is rocking, all the riders think they should have been a cowboy. We drink to our horses from a big red Solo cup, swear we're still as good as we once was. We love American soldiers and where they put their boots. It's just the kind of place Toby would love. Hey, I really love this bar and the best is yet to come. It's just the kind of place Toby would love.
Well, you're a great writer. I love every song you did today. Every one of them. Do me one more.
One more.
Yeah, do me one more.
Okay, I'm on these songs of.
I may have to cut you off because Jerry will run over here and want to beat me on the head.
We'll do this one. Paycheck was a shove-it kind of guy. Old violin can bring a tear to an eye. From the only hell Mama ever raised, from 11 months 29 days he was a take this job and shove it kind of guy. Greenfield is the place he called home. When he sang a song, he made it all his own. She's all I got, friend, don't take her. Mr. Bojangles and Mr. Lovemaker, we sure do miss that song and dance outlaw. Old John was a legend in his time. He climbed the stairs with apartment number 9. Jukebox Charlie, A11, Outlaw's Prayer, from cotton to satin, and a guitar picking man from Bowling Green. He sang with Jones, I'm ragged, but I'm right. In his younger days, a party would last all night. When he took the stage, he stood the test. Someone to give my love to was one of his best. He always left 'em standing, wanting more. Paycheck was a shove-it kind of guy. Old violin could bring a tear to an eye. From the only hell Mama ever raised to 11 months and 29 days, he was a take this job and shove it kind of guy. Johnny Paycheck was a shove it kind of guy.
Great stuff. You've been listening to Classics of Country on 88.3 WAIF in Cincinnati. Thank you so much, Bobby Mackey and RJ, for coming up today.
Come over and sing with me.
I'm definitely gonna do that. Jerry Stewart is up next at 12 o'clock. Have a great day, everybody.